Okay, everybody, 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins, good evening. What day? I worked Sunday, which I don't normally do. Today's Monday, obviously, but I'm thrown off. I'm going to be thrown off all week long. This is not good when your business is forecasting specific times and days and knowing where you are. Monday evening, watching the threat for severe weather, especially across parts of Dallas, Northeast Texas, and Oklahoma tonight. And then that marches eastward early tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, especially lunchtime tomorrow. New Orleans, maybe a little bit later for New Orleans, but Arkansas, western Louisiana, big time storms, tornadoes are possible. So let's start with that, and we'll start with kind of the bigger picture. You can see what's happening out there. And basically, we've got this system that's developing out west of Texas. It's right here in West Texas. See that? There's a lot of dry air out here, and we're getting a good dry line. But bottom line is feeding moisture up here, dry air coming in, cold air behind it, and then we've got a lot of wind upstairs. Look at all that cloud. You see the cloud deck right there moving pretty quickly? That's a lot of wind. Right now, not too much is sparked up, but as early as midnight tonight, we're going to be seeing storms pop up here in Oklahoma City area, maybe even further back to the west, but I think it's going to be right along I-33 and then further back down west of Texas. So here's what we're looking at. Severe weather threat, a couple different things on this map. The color shading in the background, obviously, that's our severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. And you can see this area right in here in the middle. That's where the biggest threat is. This is for 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. All right, so it's actually going to get started. Let me back this up because it's going to get started a little bit before that. This is around midnight. And watch what happens between midnight and 4 a.m. You'll see it really flare up. All right, now let's go out to about 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. This is Tuesday. And there's that line, and you can see, again, see the orange shading in here? That's going to be the best chance. As this line comes through and you're in that orange shading, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, southwest Mississippi, decent chance for some severe thunderstorms, including the chance for tornadoes. Then eventually it makes it over towards Florida. This is around 7 a.m. on Wednesday up in the Big Bend. If you're watching from somewhere else, I'm based out of Tampa here. But there's a thin line of showers and thunderstorms. This is not going to last. Well, at least not in Florida, right? It's thinning out a little bit there, so it's not going to last very long, and certainly not for the Panhandle, and then down into the peninsula as it pushes southeast across the area, just because it's a thin line. So watch what happens time-wise. This is 7 a.m. Wednesday. That's 10 a.m. It's already in, well, Citrus, Hernando, just about to Pasco. Tampa probably 10:30, 11:30 in the morning, and then really by 1 o'clock, it's out of Tampa. This is 3 p.m., and you can see it's clearing almost the entire area of the Tampa DMA. So you've got Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands County, still a little bit of rain left. And this timing may change just a little bit. And then it's out of here. And then we get some cooler air, and much cooler air coming in back behind this. And we'll probably stay in the 60s for highs on Thursday. But before we get to that, let's switch over to these models that you're seeing here, because I want to dig a little bit deeper into why we have this threat that's out there. So we're going to start with just the European forecast model. Let me make sure this has been refreshed here. And watch as it's going through tonight into tomorrow. This is around noon tomorrow. You can see it getting into Arkansas and Louisiana. Again, it's not going to be that thick, but that's the way the model's showing over 6-hour periods. And then you see the low driving all this is up here in northern Missouri, okay? For the Tampa area, Florida, you'll see it coming through. This is, let's go out to 1 p.m. on Wednesday. That's about 3 p.m. That's 8 p.m. And it's already gone. It's long gone by 8 p.m. anyway, so not a worry for that. All right? Now, let's take this a little bigger picture here. Let's talk about the Storm Prediction Center. There's tonight. All right? You can see that threat for severe weather there. Now, tomorrow, you see how it extends off to the east, but then look at that. By the time Wednesday rolls around, the severe weather threat's going to be up here in the Carolinas along the coast, and it's dropped. It's a 2 out of a 5 versus that orange that you see here. This is a 3 out of a 5 chance, right? 2 out of a 5 there. And also notice what's happened down here in Florida. This darker green means it's about a 1 out of a 5. It's called a marginal. I really don't like that wording at all. What's the difference between marginal and slight? Does anybody really know? I mean, just give it a number, really. It's not necessarily 1 out of 5. It's not a 20% chance, but it's almost easier to say that and explain that to people at home than it is to know the difference between marginal and slight. I mean, I know it because I'm used to seeing it and dealing with it every day, but I just imagine a lot of folks at home, it's not clear cut. All right, so anyways, that's the threat. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients. See the green down there in East Texas? That is high dew point air. That's a lot of moisture. And look at it surging 11 p.m. tonight. Look at not only that moisture, but look at this dry air coming back in right here. These dew points are in the teens, and in fact, some single digits there. This air coming in from the north and the west is actually pulling in some of this moisture and bringing it back. The dew points are higher here than they are right in there. And so there's literally a front sitting right in here as well. I'll draw that for you. Basically right in here, right? And so now you've got warm, moist air, cool, dry air being forced into each other. That makes lift in the atmosphere, okay? And that makes showers and thunderstorms. That's why we look at this setup and we go, oh man, we're going to have some pretty big storms forming, right? That's a clear indication of that. And you'll notice it as we go through 2 o'clock, 3 in the afternoon on Tuesday. Look at Louisiana. It's all coming through there. You're looking where the green meets the white and the brown, right? Where it's pushing through there. Mississippi, 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. All right. Now, here is the kind of a measurement of the instability in the atmosphere. How much energy do we have to make showers and thunderstorms? It takes to make lift, really, is what this is saying. It has some variables in there. But the ones that you want to watch are and have increased quite a bit is this right here. Look at central Oklahoma. This was not like this as much yesterday. That's a lot of lift in the atmosphere. That's a really good chance for showers and storms. For storms, I don't know what I'm talking about, showers and storms. And that has increased quite a bit in the last 24 hours in the models. Now, you notice as it moves over into Louisiana and Arkansas, those numbers are not too impressive. We will get storms, and we will get some severe weather there. But they're not quite as impressive as it was out into parts of Oklahoma and Texas. Now, this is kind of a K index, kind of showing you where we get thunderstorms. It kind of gives you a good idea of the chance for thunderstorms. And, I mean, it gets more widespread. Look at it's kind of a thin line moving through Oklahoma and central Texas. And East Texas, it fills in. Louisiana, yeah, you get the idea, right? All right, now let's take a look at this. This is the lightning. You can really see it filling in there. And it actually weakens the further east it goes. Now, let's talk about the winds. So we know we have a lot of lift in the atmosphere. We're going to make big storms. Or at least we can if there's a trigger. And the trigger is going to be the cold front. That's going to help make taller storms. Now, look at the winds. Because the winds help storms grow, but they also help them rotate. And that's what we're seeing right here. This is, what time are we looking at here? 1 this morning. 1 tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, 1 a.m. Winds out of the south for the most part, okay? Let's look in, that's eastern Oklahoma. All right, now let's go, that's about 5,000 feet. Let's go up a little bit. Let's go up above that. And now look what the winds are doing. They're out of the southwest. So you go down, you come up the surface just a little bit, you got winds out of the south. You go up a little bit more, you got winds out of the southwest. And you go up even more, and you have a little west-southwest. Not a huge difference there. But when the winds go from here, and then to here, and then to here, so what we're saying is wind down at the ground is going one direction, like this. And then you go up a little bit, and the wind's going like this. And you go up even higher, and it's going like that. That wind profile makes thunderstorms tend to rotate, mesocyclones. And those types of thunderstorms tend to produce tornadoes. And that's why this is a rather large threat for severe weather. Now, look, when you have just what we call speed shear versus what I just explained was wind shear, different speeds and different directions at different heights. That's kind of wind shear. That's directional shear. You can also have straight, like from the south here, from the south there, and from the south up there. But if this one's going faster, it's going to it creates a void. And it's literally going to cause the air down here to come up quickly to fill that void. And if that's a storm, it grows even quicker. So you can have different types of lift in the atmosphere just from the wind alone. In this scenario, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and into Arkansas, Mississippi, we're going to have more of a directional wind shear issue. By the time it gets to Florida, it generally becomes more of a speed wind shear issue. So that means we could have some more straight line winds, gusty winds, that type of thing. Here is the chance for thunderstorms. Watch this line. See that? That is about 10 in the morning on Wednesday. That is 1 p.m. That is 4 p.m. Right? And then it's out of here. All right, now let's take a look at our winds. Ready? Here we go. These are winds at the surface at about, I want to get this out to 1 o'clock on Wednesday because that's when we expect those storms to come through. So this is 1 o'clock. Winds are out of the south and the west, right? All right, so let's do this again. Let's come out here. Now this is up a little bit higher. Winds kind of west-southwest, maybe a little bit. I mean, there's not a huge difference. And we'll go up even one more, go out about the same time, and look at that. It's pretty much west-southwest. So we started like this, we went like this, and now we're like that. That's not a big difference. Sometimes you'll see the winds at the surface going like this, and then they go up a little bit, they go that, and then you get something like this or like that. That's a good profile there. That's a mess, isn't it? But you get the idea. They're going to be rotating, and that's the chance. Now, let's talk about behind it, because behind it is where we have the cooler air. So this is a look at Wednesday when we're warm, ahead of the front. The front's sitting right in here. See the cold air behind the front right there? The front's leading out ahead of this. So Wednesday, the front comes through, and I'm talking Florida now, brings the cold air. In fact, look at the cold air across the southeast. It is going to get cold. Chicago, look at the Great Lakes. I mean, they're really going to get cold. But this is Thursday. Thursday in Tampa won't get out of the 60s. 76 is average for this time of the year. Now, Friday, starting to warm things up. Saturday, we're warming things up. Let me go ahead and stop this back for Saturday afternoon. See all that there? All that warming up? Over the southeast, that's close to 80, 81 degrees in Tampa. And then as we get into Sunday night into Monday, we actually have more rain coming on Sunday, and then another shot of cooler air back on Monday. So we have a little bit of a roller coaster ride here in the Tampa area at least, and you can see temperature-wise. And that's going to get us for the next 10 days or so. I mean, here you go down to Thursday, warm back up Friday, Saturday. Sunday we've got rain with another front. Cools us a little bit. This one is not as cold. And then we're back up, upper 70s to low 80s Wednesday into Thursday. All right? So 7-day forecast, looking pretty good. We do have a weather impact alert for Wednesday midday. Might actually move that red shading more towards midday. But that would be it. And it's only going to last, I mean, look, I'd be surprised if it lasts 45 minutes in any one location, right? But it's a thin line of showers and storms that's going to come through, but it will come through. And then the other thing there, look at this. We spring forward this weekend, 1 hour. Yep, daylight saving time begins this weekend. So don't forget to push those clocks forward 1 hour before you go to bed Saturday night. Sunday evening sunset is around 7:30 or so in the Tampa area. So we get an extra hour of light in the evening. Obviously, that means it's going to be a little bit darker first thing in the morning. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you have a great evening. Please make sure, because we got these storms coming through Texas, Oklahoma, and even into Louisiana early while people are sleeping. And that is the worst time to have severe weather because they're just not paying attention. Even if their phone goes off, they're not going to hear it sometimes. So if you have any family or friends that live in that area, give them a text or something. Give them a heads up like, hey, make sure you stay weather aware overnight tonight, especially Oklahoma and Texas, because there's going to be some pretty good storms coming through there. All right, guys, that's it. See you tonight if you're in Tampa on 10 Tampa Bay at 11 o'clock.